Hello everyone, Basic Ollie here and welcome to another episode of This Week on iRacing. Okay then, let's kick this week off with, the GT3, shall we? We'll look at the GT Sprint, the GT Endurance and the GT3 Fixed as well. So as you know, all three series go to the same place. This week we are going to Catalunya Historic. Okay, so the historic version does not have the awful chicane at the end. It's set afternoon/evening, so you don't need to worry about track temperatures at all. It's around 23 degrees, so it's nice and cool. However, do be wary, your tyres will still suffer. This track is notorious for absolutely shredding tyres, especially that front left, so do look after it if you can. Although you are in GT3s and the tyre compound this season seems to be very hard, so yeah, tyre wear doesn't really make much, well, it's not very strong as what it used to be. You know, you used to do a stint here and it would just be, you know, be down to the threads. But, you know, this season seems to be a lot better. But yeah, still do keep an eye on it because it will be an issue throughout the race. There's no rain in any of the races this week for the GT3, so the GT Sprint, GT Endurance and the GT3 Fixed. None of them have rain, so you're absolutely fine. So if you're not a fan of rain, then maybe this is the series for you. It is Catalunya, so it can be quite difficult to overtake here. And yeah, just do be wary of that. But, you know, I actually don't mind historic circuit. It's not that bad. It's not that bad, to be honest with you. Whenever you watch races here, you know, F1, it's a pretty awful circuit if you ask me, but I think anything slower really, I think you can have some decent races here. So I expect this week to be semi-popular. It won't reach the heights of what we've reached with like Le Mans and Spa, but you know, it will do okay. It will do okay. So yeah, those are the GT3s this week. No rain to worry about. Watch out for your tyres, nice and low track temperature, and yeah, it is the historic layout, so you don't need to worry about the last chicane. I also expect things like the McLaren to be quick, McLaren Ferrari to still be the go-to GT3 cars here. I still think it's going to suit them quite nicely. Next up in the list, we have the IMSA Open, the IMSA Fix, and the IMSA Endurance, okay? And we're heading to Zolder, alternate, however you want to say it. And yeah, basically it means the final chicane is gone and it's more of a fast left than a fast right. So the chicane has gone. A bit more flow in this layout, just a little bit. It's only a little bit of a change, but yeah. So track temp is going to be very, very low. And the reason for that is because there's a good chance of rain in the Open, okay? So 56% chance of rain in the Endurance and a 26% chance of rain in the Open. So 1 in every 4 races will have rain. But what I will say, what I think is going to happen, I think it's going to happen here is that the Open is basically going to start wet, basically the majority of the time, and then there's a 26% chance of it actually raining during the race. So I actually think the track is going to start damp because all the tests I've done so far, the track seemed to start damp and then rain comes a little bit later. So I do expect the track to be damp, and then you kind of got to make a decision whether you're going to start on dry tyres or not. It is IMSA though. I don't know how popular this is going to be. I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to be quiet this week. Zolder, for me personally, I don't really think it's a particularly fantastic track. And when you add multi-class to that as well, I think we're going to struggle a little bit for some decent numbers. So you may have to wait for kind of evening time, you know, BST or whatnot, to get some good numbers. So you probably evening in Europe is when you're going to get the most amount of people signed up. There is an endurance this weekend as well for IMSA, the IMSA Endurance Series. So it's the 2-hour and 40-minute race running Saturday and Sunday. That does have a 56% chance of rain, so even a bigger chance of rain. So again, I'm expecting things. Track may start damp, and then you've got a good chance of it raining during the race as well. So it could be good fun. I think if you get some pretty full lobby, it's going to be pretty chaotic. So as long as you can keep it clean, you could really take advantage of the chaos. Do watch for sends if you're in a GT3, I'll be honest. I think the LMP2s and GTPs are going to get very, very impatient with you around here. So do watch for those sends, boys and girls. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be close. It's going to be tight. And yeah, there are going to be many deaths. Many deaths. Anyone who runs a YouTube channel for like clip compilations or stuff like that, you're going to have lots of content this week, so I'm sure you are very happy. But yeah, it's going to be sendy. It's going to be violent. It's going to be vicious. If you want to protect yourself, probably go into GTP or LMP2. But if you want to be brave, brave it out of GT3, which I think I'm going to try and do, then yeah, it's going to be quite the journey, shall we say. Car-wise, I'm not really sure. I think maybe things like the Porsche and the Audi and stuff like that, they'll come into their own a little bit more now. There's not really that much of a longer straight here. So top end isn't really that important. So yeah, I think you'll be okay. I still think the Macca and the Ferrari are the clear winners this season at the moment. But yeah, I think you can, if you can get away Audi, Porsche, Lambo, I think you could definitely use those Corvette. I think you'll be absolutely fine. If you want to switch up this week and maybe get out of the OP McLaren for a while, those might be your choices. But yeah, should be good fun. Hopefully it does get the numbers. If it does, I think it'll be a lot of fun. But don't go into this series, I don't think, hoping for lots of good results, because I think you're going to be slightly disappointed. I don't think it'll quite get the numbers. And when it does get the numbers, I think it's going to be... yeah, it's going to be quite something. Okay, next up on the list, and I promise you, I'm not trying to just show you terrible tracks this week. Even though we are going to the Hungaroring, which in my opinion, don't shoot me, all right? Don't hate on me in the chat or in the comments. I think this is a terrible circuit. But regardless, I'm here to give you the information. We're off to the Hungaroring for the Falken Sports Car Tyre Challenge thingy-be-doobity bops. Okay, 23 degrees track temperature, 0% chance of rain. This could be chaotic. However, Hungaroring, as much as I despise it, it does seem to get some half-decent numbers. Okay, so there are people out there that do enjoy the track. So yeah, I think this is going to get half-decent numbers. It's going to get, you know, some decent sign-ups. So should be fairly popular. It's incredibly difficult to overtake at this track. I think you're going to find it very difficult. Multi-class aspect of it, don't know how you're going to find it if you are in an LMP3. Some impatience might come in. You might see some sense from LMP3 drivers that are just getting frustrated by, you know, not being able to overtake. And there's going to be so many places where it's just going to be difficult to overtake. Apart from the straight and basically T1 and T2, I think you're going to be struggling to overtake, regardless of what class you're in. But regardless, it'll be popular. So this is all the information that you need for this week. Like, it's a 30-minute multi-class race. LMP3s versus GT4s. It's a quality series. I can't recommend this series enough. It's a lot of fun. No pit stops to worry about or anything like that. Do give it a chance if you can. But yeah, Hungaroring, I have to say, I'm not a massive fan of the tracks so far this week. They've not been great. Barcelona Historic, then Zolder, then the Hungaroring. Yeah, not great, if I'm being honest, but regardless, hopefully you enjoy it. Okay, next up on the list, we actually do have a half-decent track, in my opinion. It is, of course, Monza. Porsche Cups go back to Monza. We had it kind of near the end of last season, and 5 weeks into this season, 5 weeks already is this season, by the way. It's crazy. So yeah, the 5th week of this season, we are at Monza in the P Cups once again. I would, however, like to tell you this time, the track temperature is significantly lower than last time. So track temperature-wise, we're probably looking at about 26 degrees. Open and fixed. There's no chance of rain again, so you don't need to worry about the rain in this at all whatsoever. Slipstream, as we know from last season, is absolutely king. So make sure you stay in the tow if you can. If you're not, try and catch up with someone and then just work together, because the tow here at Monza in the P Cup is worth so much time. You're so much better to run around with someone rather than just go by yourself, because it makes the world of difference. It really does. But regardless, it's always a great fun combo. When I did this last season, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, you learn a lot. The Porsche Cup is incredibly difficult to drive, but it is very rewarding once you get it right. And yeah, that's the Porsche Cup this week. Finally, I think a good combo this week. This will be very very So yeah, if you're looking to do something this week, a little bit out of the ordinary, yeah, this might be the series for you, because it is a good laugh. So yeah, try the Porsche Cups at Monza. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And then lastly, for this week's episode of This Week on iRacing, the rally cars, the Rallycrosses are once again going to the Nordschleife. Now, I made a video on this last season, and it was cracking fun. It was really, really good stuff. This is really out of the blue, just completely different to what you would normally do. But this is basically the Nordschleife series, where it's always at the Nordschleife, but it changes car every week. So the Rallycross cars are going to be there. They're a lot of fun. They do drive very different to what you'd expect, or how all the other road cars or GT cars will not drive at this track. But regardless, it's a lot of fun. If you're looking for something a little bit different this week again, have a bit of fun, have a bit of a laugh, then this will be the series for you. The only thing that lets it down a little bit, in my opinion, is the fact there's only a race every 2 hours, really. So you could do a race that lasts about, 20, 30 minutes. And then you've got an hour and a half wait to the next one, which is a little bit like, oh, okay. So the only thing that kind of lets this series down a little bit, if you ask me. But regardless, like I said, something a bit different. Definitely give this a go, because it will be a good laugh. So yeah, that pretty much covers all the interesting races or series I think that are happening this week. Let me know what you think of this episode in the comments, hopefully. And also, actually, let me know what you think of this week, actually. Whether you think it's going to be a popular week or not. Whether you like the tracks or the combos or whatnot. But yeah, regardless, I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you leave a like on the way out if you can. And maybe subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate that. But I'll catch you for next week's episode. Take care. Ta-da.